Welcome to the Perfect Match Wrap Up. I am one of your hosts, Jason Reed. With me, as always, throughout this messy journey is the one, the only, Kirsten MacInnis. Kirsten, how's it going?
I'm so sorry you have to hear it this way, Jason, but I just feel like I haven't been giving my full effort to this process. I really just want to explore my connection with other podcasters, and so we have brought a new bombshell onto the podcast.
Yeah, we've released everyone from the podcast hotel that were choices come on Perfect Match podcast. So we have with us the one and only LT LaTonya. LaTonya, how's it going? Welcome to the circus. Welcome to the mess of Perfect Match.
Mama, when I tell you what I'm about to tell you, you will be told my opinion. I'm really happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you said I want to talk to someone about Perfect Match. You said we got just a show for you. You're here, whether you like it or not. Now you asked for this. We dragged you into the villa, and now you have to choose whether or not you want to stay or not, and try to get with someone or other. Tanya, tell us your history here of Perfect Match. Tell us your history of Netflix shows. What level are you in experience of Netflix shows here?
I'm a novice. Mm-hmm. The only Netflix reality shows that I've seen are Love is Blind, which I am indebted to. I feel like it is my child and I care for it thusly. And when I was watching the Love is Blind reunion and they were listing the people from Love is Blind that were going to be on the cast, I was like, well, this is going to be a shit show. So, of course, I have to tune in. But I don't have that much experience with Netflix reality in general. I think I've only seen Love is Blind, The Circle, and the beginning of the first season of Perfect Match. So I'm coming in not knowing a great deal of the people that are in the cast and just kind of learning about who they are based on the gossipy little interviews that they do and what they do on the show. And I definitely have some opinions.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing about Perfect Match, actually, is that you don't have to know all the background of all these people. They'll be messy on their own. You don't even have to know about their previous mess. They'll create new mess for you to enjoy here on this show. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think how are you enjoying the season so far? Let me ask you that. Like, what are your thoughts?
I think it's great. I basically am very new into reality television, with the exception of staples like the Real World, like old school MTV stuff. I'm just very new to reality TV, and I'm really enjoying this season because everyone is so messy. Everyone behaves in the exact wrong way. That if you think that someone should handle a situation in a certain way, they do it the opposite way. And we
love them for that.
And we love them for it. Yeah. This show has one of the biggest villains in my reality TV roster in Harry. I know we'll talk about it.
I want to ask you, LaTonya, while we're up top here, because again, you are new to reality TV, which is we all were at one time, so like fresh and innocent, and yet we're dragging you down the dark path instead of telling you to get out while you still can. Do you know what the premise of Too Hot to Handle is?
That's the one where they're not allowed to hook up with each other.
Yes, they get a prize pot at the beginning, and every sexual contact takes money from the pot.
Yeah, I've seen a couple episodes of that show, but not enough to have the people in it be that memorable to me.
No, it doesn't. The people in Too Hot to Handle are not memorable. The show, it's one of those ones, it's in one ear, out the other. Like, I've podcasted about every single episode of Too Hot to Handle, and I'm like, I recognize Christine because she's so beautiful, but I don't even remember what happened. But then, the fact that I'm capable of forgetting about that banana scene tells me all I need to know, that I'm never going to remember what happens on Too Hot to Handle after the season's over.
That's a pretty memorable scene.
I don't know if I don't know if I'm ever going to forget that banana scene. That's just
it could happen to you,
in my opinion. But Interesting. I think that will stick with me for a long time. But yeah, here we are, third drop. We have just one more episode left after this, which is the finale, where we crown probably the wrong winner as from what we saw from season 1, this show is want to do. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's talk about where we left off. Last drop we left off where it was the big decision. Who is Kaz going to choose? Micah, who he's been rocking with the whole time, or Holly, the new hotness that has come into the villa? Yeah. So as Micah likes to do, as Kaz is talking to Holly, she is freaking the F out because she has no idea whether or not Kaz is going to pick her. She's not sure if he likes Holly or not. Kaz basically pulls Micah aside and says, listen, Holly's definitely my type. She's got a lot of energy. The banter is great. Micah needs so much reassurance, and Kaz knows exactly how not to give her that.
But also, like, where is the banter? What banter does Holly have? Have they spoken, or did they massage each other with clay? Because I actually didn't see them talk.
That is the banter, Kirsten. That's all the banter you need. The silent banter of touch.
Yeah, there's not a lot of deep philosophical conversation going on between Kaz and anyone.
Between anyone and anyone on this show. Like, honestly, I feel like the only conversations are, do you like me? I like you. Let's match. I feel like those are the biggest conversations we have on this show.
Yeah, pretty much.
Someone kind of put it perfectly when they said that Kaz was just like a people person. Mm-hmm. And so that meant that what is her name? Micah is going to have a problem and like freak out most of the time she's in the house if she's matched with Kaz.
I mean, it's the least perfect match you can think of, right? Someone that needs a lot of reassurance, that has a lot of insecurities, match with Kaz, who will sweet talk with anyone, but it won't really mean anything. So you put those two together, and it's going to be kind of explosive.
But I think it's the thing where, like, if they actually had good communication and could trust each other, it actually could really work. Like, a lot of times it's nice to have one person in a couple that, like, brings the other out of their shell, and the other one's there to kind of, like, be like, let's stay home tonight. Like, that can be a really good balancing thing, but you have to have communication and trust, and it doesn't seem like they've spoken pretty much at all, even though they've been coupled up since day 2?
I mean, it's hard when you have a couple like a Steven and a Lara that is like our gold standard in this in this season. And then you have a Micah and Kaz where they've been matched the whole season, and yet we're just like, we don't really see anything about their relationship. We don't really see them even really talking nicely to each other. We don't really see them making out or anything. Compare that to Steven and Lara, where every time we turn around, they're making out in a corner somewhere. So Micah and Kaz are a weird couple, like, right? Kaz is telling us, the viewers, like, Micah, she's just not going to like this conversation we're about to have. But they have the conversation, and Micah's telling him, listen, if I was going to go on a date with someone, I'd come back, I would kiss them, I'd reassure them, but all I got from you was a kiss on the cheek. He tells her that, he does out of the blue just say, you know what? I actually like the side of myself when I'm with you. And just out of the blue says, hey, do you want a match? I'm just like, why did he preface this by telling us, like, Micah's really not going to like this conversation? And then he just asked her to match. I'm like, what? Make it make sense.
I feel like he wasn't going to pick her, and then he had a little light go off that she's not going to go for anybody else, and they will get to stay together as long as he just doesn't pick somebody else.
It was a pity match, is what you're saying.
I think Holly is more likely to go for someone else after the next challenge, whereas with Micah, Kaz and Micah can stay in the house, stay solid the whole way, and probably not have a shot to win, but like maybe have a shot to win.
Well, who knows?
If everyone's they've been tested so many times and they still stayed together. They must be soulmates.
Yeah, it's Holly. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say that it's really interesting that Kaz and Micah have gotten so much screen time, considering how little content there is in that screen time. It's so true that we haven't seen anything about their bond or their relationship, which is allegedly the point of the show. So I don't know.
That's like the lie of what the show is about. And then underneath you just dig a layer deeper and see it's all about mess.
Yeah, so Holly is left out in the cold. She says she feels a little blindsided. She says she feels like she's been a pawn in Mike and Kaz's relationship. Just Kaz is so inconsistent. It's hard for anyone to get a read on him. But at some point, she would like to get back in the house to get revenge on him. At some point, I was like, "Really? Is it that serious? Is it that?
But this is like Elise being like, "I need revenge for being broken up from Harry at the first possible opportunity." When it's like, it was never that serious.
Yeah, it was never that deep.
It was just,
For Melinda's part, we get that she is disappointed in Chris. She says she let this 5'0" boy get her like that. And pretty much Holly and Melinda, take off. And we'll see them again, but they really kind of came and went with a whimper, which is kind of the theme of this season. We've got a lot of seemingly at this point right here unbreakable couples for our new matches just to come in and just leave as soon as they get in the door.
I also do just want to say, I think the storytelling of this season has been bizarre because I feel like they spend a lot of time telling us in confessional versus actually showing us the evidence of what happened so we can draw our own conclusions. So it's like we are very much supposed to see Kaz and Micah are a couple in trouble, even though it's like, I don't know, he just immediately matched with her. I wouldn't have thought that they were necessarily in trouble at the start of this before I watched the end. So it's just very weird. And I feel like they're doing a lot to protect some of their favorite reality characters.
I can definitely see that. It feels like it's more of a tell don't show, which I think is kind of a Netflix problem among most of their shows. Is like, these people are so in love. I'm like, why? Like you have failed to really tell me why they're claiming to be in love. So I think that's kind of a Netflix overall problem, which I don't know what the fix is, but figure it out, Netflix. Anyway,
other shows managed to show us
for sure. So we next day is 9 days left. I haven't been keeping great track of the days left because I feel like the first season we would get from like 15 to 9 and be like, so they spent a whole week with no content. You didn't have anything to show us, and this whole week they were just chilling in the villa. But this tells us we have 9 days left until the competition is over. We get our next compatibility challenge, and it's basically kind of like this is the one where we have to kind of untangle each other. We're all tied up. This was really kind of not much to do about anything here. Did either one of you have any big takeaways from this challenge?
Just that I feel like production spends about $5.99 on the actual challenges themselves. Just looking at other reality shows that have a challenge component, it's just so lackluster as compared to this show.
Yeah.
I like the idea that a test of your compatibility is how well you can go through a rope maze while one person is blindfolded. Because it's like, I mean, honestly, that might actually be one of the better compatibility challenges because at least I have to like test their communication. But like, talk about the blind leading the blind in this one. Like it was not going well for pretty much anyone.
Yeah, it pretty much comes down to Micah and Kaz and Steven and Alara. Everyone else is just kind of in the same places they've been because they just cannot figure out how to untangle these things. And just for Micah and Kaz to show LT for calling them like a nothing couple, they win the challenge. Like they are the best at untangling themselves from ropes. So Micah and Kaz win. We get the Micah and Kaz date, which, LT, much like the challenges, I would say, we didn't really spend a lot of money on these dates either. Nope. We go to a lagoon in Tulum, and they're just like, just go talk a little bit.
It isn't very expensive to go to Tulum these days. The prices have increased a lot. So they were like, okay, we'll pay to get them there, and then nothing else.
Like, you guys just chill over there and
like. I think this is the same cenote where Harry and Jess had their date. Their first date.
Yeah, so we're reusing locations at this point.
Yeah.
We get the Kaz and Micah date. Micah says, they're getting deeper every day.
No.
Where? When? How?
This is wild because Micah asks, "Oh, do you see a future with me outside of this house?" And Kaz waits approximately 2.5 minutes before being like, "Yeah." Like, there's no future. I don't even think they like each other that much. I think they're just a little bit maybe trauma bonded from being on the show. And also, if he still lives in the UK and she lives in Seattle, That is an absolutely just bonkers time difference to be trying to make work in a new relationship.
Yeah, as we're going to see in this whole drop, Kaz does not do well with geography at all, and he has no idea where Seattle is. He has no idea what the Space Needle is. He's like, "What the heck is that? I have no idea what you're talking about." And yeah, I mean, Michael asked him, like you said, Kirsten, do you see potential? I feel like the producer behind the camera is just like, say yes, like you want to stay on the show? Say yes. He's like, yeah, yep, totally potential outside the house. I can definitely see us dating at some point. I guess, sure.
Just so wild. And to be fair to him, I don't think that it's right that everyone in the world is expected to just know all about American landmarks. So justice for Kaz not knowing about the Space Needle.
Very true. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I feel like he should be, kind of worldly a little bit. He should know some of this stuff. He's probably been to LA. Like he should know some of American culture. I don't know. Whatever. It is what it is. So that day kind of comes and goes. This is really much to do about. Nothing here. We now get to cut to 1 week left. We see a confessional of Harry talking about the connection he has with Jess. He has this cute little scene where he gives her a bunch of these little love notes. And it is very cutesy. He tells her how she's an incredible mother. She gets choked up by that. He says he really wants to be a cool dad to her kid. And I'm like, wow, we've really jumped the shark here. We have really gone into crazy territory. He says he came here to be in love, and he thinks he found that in Jess.
LaTonya,
what has been your thoughts on the Jess Harry of it all so
far? Well, I found their date odd when they first met because he seemed like he was all in the second that she said she had a kid, which makes no sense given his own past and how he doesn't seem to be able to be great with commitment. I think that he seems to be trying to sell this, I've changed, I've gone to therapy, and now I'm ready for what life has to actually bring, that's good. And that includes, of course, the heteronormative, like married with 2.5 kids and a pet. But I don't really believe a word that Harry says. And I think that I'm validated by the fact that he slipped in a note into that little present talking about wanting to eat her bum. Like, why?
That wasn't even the worst part for me because like Gen Z be doing that. They're choking each other and they're eating ass. Those are two things I know about Gen Z.
I just don't need to know about it.
And yeah, it's none of my business, but I'm like not surprised. I didn't like when he said he would drink her bathwater. This definitely filmed before Saltburn came out, but I just was uncomfortable with the whole prospect after seeing that in action.
That's a little too much TMI there for among many things.
And the love bombing is just out of control.
He just wants to redeem his public image in any way possible. And he thinks dating someone who is, beloved in the Netflix reality community, which he has to assume Jessica is because she got put on Perfect Match before her season of Love is Blind even aired. And she has a kid, so he can use that as like, look at me, I'm stepping up to be a father figure to someone else's child. Like, look how great. I think it's all very calculated, and I'm sick of seeing this man cry and try to pretend it's because he's like growing, but it's total manipulation.
Yeah, I haven't really seen any of the takes out there that are really believing this Harry change of heart. They're just like, okay, Harry, whatever, fake tears, all right. So I don't think it's really working very well for our guy Harry out here. We do
Whose guy, not mine.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry, that was wrong use of words. I don't think anyone's a guy. I would hate to meet the person that claims that he is their guy. Although he keeps getting cast on these reality shows.
There are people who we'll talk about it later, but like are on his side in this whole thing that happens in this group of episodes. So I thought you were right, but then I went to the internet.
Well, yeah, but even those people know that he's a dickhead, and then, like, you have to just change your behavior, like, because you suck. Well, I know you can be better. Even those people know he sucks. We do get the Micah and Kaz boardroom, which will be our only boardroom of this drop. I was like, for a show that relies so heavily on these conventions like boardrooms, it was our only one. We only had this one compatibility challenge. We only had one boardroom. But honestly, if I'm talking about the drop as a whole, I think the show actually did better for it to not have these conventions and to kind of let them run wild as they did. I think this is probably one of the best drops of Perfect Match, like, period, in both seasons. I really enjoyed the drop and all the chaos that ensued. But we do get this last boardroom here. Our new singles that are going to come in the house. We find out that we're going to have men and women coming here as a co-ed selection. How that I was thinking, like, how is this exactly going to work? We still don't really get a big, like, explanation of how it's going to work later. But our choices here are Nigel from Too Hot to Handle, Trevor from Love Is Blind, Britain from Too Hot to Handle, and Christine from Too Hot to Handle. Heavy Too Hot to Handle cast. Kirsten, do you have any standouts here? We talked a little about all of these people, I think, except for Christine, maybe.
Yeah, no, it's just the 4 people that have been present in the previous boardrooms and didn't get picked. It's just the leftovers there. Obviously, I had forgotten about Christine deep-throating the banana as a way to, like, try and get a man on Too Hot to Handle. So egg on my face, but there's really nothing more to add. Nigel's whole thing was that he I had also forgotten he thinks about sex every 5 minutes. They pulled that from the premiere of his season where he's like 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh, a missionary.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, okay. Just the most important parts of their personality were showcased in the flashbacks.
Too Hot to Handle doesn't really allow you to get to know their personality that well, even though they do it under the guise of, like, we're gonna make them better and different people. Okay.
I wish these shows really just drop the guys and just be like, we just want them to be slutty and terrible, and then let them do their thing.
It's so Too Hot to Handle is so weird because they basically act like everyone that's been cast is Satan because they enjoy having casual sex, and as if, like, if anybody enjoys that, they are a bad person and you have to change yourself through therapy because no, like, well-adjusted person could go through this. And it's like, man, it's a bunch of, like, 21-year-olds. What do you think? Like, they're the hottest people you've ever seen. And like, what do you think they're gonna do? Like, it's just what people do. And they try to put this moral value on it, which is really gross. So
yeah, let them live. And let them live.
Yeah.
It's actually like it's so weird. There's also, like, a weird gender essentialism aspect to Too Hot to Handle as well every season. So and it has it's a fun show with some big problems.
Really big problems. Yeah. They cast a lot of men that don't at all seem to be interested in any of the Black women that are there.
Unfortunately, that's every dating show. And then they will cast the most stunning, perfect, amazing Black women to be, like, the main characters of the show while giving them no viable dating options. We talk about it every time because it happens every time.
Yeah, it's a travesty in these Netflix streets out here. But to the boardroom, we basically the purpose of this boardroom for Mike and Kaz. By the end of it, they just say we want to kind of put up Stev and Alara, so they put them on dates. They put Stev with Britain. They put Alara with what do they put Alara with?
Nigel.
Alara with Nigel.
Yeah, and they basically are putting them with, like, the person that is more their physical type to really test Steven and Alara.
So they come back and they announce, Stev, Alara, you're going on the dates. They're obviously pissed. They obviously know that this is kind of a targeted attack against them to try and split them up. We do get the Steven and Britain date. Britain comes, we see her intro package. She tells us she's one half of a power couple. She just hasn't found the other person yet. She tells us she's blunt. She talks about she's blunt. She's open-minded, but she always listens to her heart. They drive around on a moped. There's really nothing much to this.
I think I really like Steven now, which is not something I anticipated happening on this season of television after my prior experiences with him. But when they get the moped and Britain's like, I want to drive, and Steven's just like, cool, let me sit in the sidecar and let you drive. I was like, I feel like a lot of men would not be okay with that. They would be like, no,
Yeah.
I'm driving. You're in the sidecar. You can hold on to me. And he was just like, no, that's fine. You want to drive? Cool. I'll sit in the sidecar. I don't care. And I thought that was so nice. The bar is very low as well, but at least
It's
he's
in
able to step
hell.
over it.
I mean, if this was Brighton, he would have made her like
Oh, God.
grab onto his back instead of sitting in the sidecar. That's
Mhm.
what he would have made her do. Like, no,
Yeah.
you're gonna get behind me. You're gonna grab onto my waist. If that was Brighton, that's what he would have done.
Imagine being stuck behind a moped with a sidecar when you're just trying to make it someplace on time. But if you had told me when this show started that Steven was going to be the most mature guy in the house, I would not have believed you. But he really is stepping up when it comes to Alara, and I mean, he's like made her multiple meals, and it seems like their attraction is just growing, and it doesn't seem like it's fizzling at all.
Hey, he's definitely putting in the most effort, I would say, into trying to get his match to actually like him. So I think that's a good thing on Steven's account. I think he realizes that Alara may be, out of his league, and he's trying to do whatever he can to keep her. So that's good on him for realizing that and doing what he needs to do. We do get the Alara Nigel date. Not really much goes with this. They talk about astrology. They have a little bit of a massage date. She likes how good looking he is, but she cannot stop thinking about Steven. She says Steven is her guy. We pretty much know at this point that Alara's not really going to go for Nigel when we get back to the villa.
Yeah, she like thinks he's hot, got a good massage, but she's not like, oh, I really like him and feel a connect. Because I also feel like he immediately is like, oh, you're an Aquarius. Like, I've dated Aquarius before. Like, sir, you are literally a Scorpio. Sit down. Shut up.
I mean, I do like he had the perfect match intro already. So he says he's matured, he's ready to settle down. I feel like that's just the boilerplate intro for all these singles.
I also just like, as a public service announcement, if you're interacting with a straight man who like immediately knows about astrology and knows a lot of information about their own chart, like,
red flag.
He's for the community. He's not for you.
Red flag. The newbies do arrive. We get Alara and Nigel coming back. Harry tells us he does know a lot. He does know Nigel from LA. Can't wait to see how he spices things up. Alara's telling the other girls, he's my type. But again, couldn't stop thinking about Steven. Britton and Stev come back. And Alara's worried because he told her that Britton is his type. Steven says, she's cool, but I gotta go talk to Alara, see where we're at here, see where we're on the same page. Nick's back to get the party started and to meet the newbies. He doesn't really explain much of what's going to go on. There's no power dynamic here because we have an even number of men and women here. So he doesn't really explain how the matches are going to work here.
And he should have, because to me, I was like, okay, well, like, Nigel and Britton can just pair up and stay in the house and that will be fun. But then when they don't get people, they just had to leave together awkwardly. And I was like, oh, well, why was Nick there at all if not to explain that you have to be coupled up with someone who's already in the house in order to stay?
He was there so that we could get to hear the audible groans that take place every time he enters the room. It's one of my favorite parts. They're just like, why are you here? What are you doing?
Father Nick is back. It's easier to tell us what we already know about what's going on in this show. I did like how Alara is running off because she was upset about Steven coming with a new woman. She almost runs into Nick as Nick is exiting the scene, and the look of panic on Nick's face where he's like, "Oh no, something unscripted is happening. Is she coming towards me? Like, am I supposed to say something?" He's like, "Oh no, she's going off. Okay, I can leave." Like
what did he think was going to happen? He thought he was going to get punched? I don't understand.
He panicked. He's like, I'm supposed to leave here. Like, what's happening? He's like, "Oh, she's just going off that way. Good. I can go. I can leave. I've said my piece for this
because
scene."
When he's asking everyone how their date went, Britton is great date. I definitely think there's chemistry. It was so good. And then Alara's like, gotta go because I already know she's his physical type and it's over for me. She runs off crying, and he immediately just goes to her and is like, nah, he does a little joke about kissing Britain, but then it's like, nah, I'm messing with you. I only thought about you the whole time. Like, can we just match up now or what?
Yeah, he literally just goes there like, all right, so yeah, I'm done with all this. Like, can we just match now and just go upstairs? Like, and they literally just match automatically. And at that point, you can pretty much mark Nigel and Britain as going to be out of the house pretty soon.
Yeah.
But not for
Nigel,
lack of trying.
yeah, Nigel wants to try it with Jess. Harry says, no, I have marked her. She is mine.
Well, yeah, she was wearing his watch, so
yeah, that's how he gets banished here. He goes to pretty much every woman and pretty much gets rejected. It just tells him, you should work the room. You should go talk to people that aren't me. He basically gets told the same thing by Elise. It's like, you should go talk to people. Get Naughty Nigel here. I'm not interested, but someone else does. Tolu won't even really give him the time of day, so he pretty much runs the gamut of rejection on his way out the door.
He does, like, it's almost like everyone is scheming. People are so upset with Micah and Kaz at this point that they're like, let's start something. They're like, this is perfect. We will get Kaz with Britain, and then Micah and Nigel can be together. We'll split up this couple because they're obviously so weak. And everyone is and like Elise is like sharing crumbs of information, like, and they're like, oh yeah, go in, like you go there, Britain, and then Nigel, you go talk to, like, they're all scheming to break them up, but it ultimately just ends up with Kaz getting upset because everyone's obviously been talking behind his back. And what I love about this is Elise is literally like, no one was talking behind your back. I just had a conversation with Britain. It's like, okay, so you're admitting to him, to his face, that you talked behind his back.
Yeah, Elise's shadiness really gets turned up a notch in this drop. You can kind of see that she's not as innocent as she would have you believe in this first couple drops. She definitely is trying to scheme and plot. This whole Elise and Micah feud that's been going on in the background of this season has been really interesting to track, as they both kind of want to get revenge on each other at different points in time. So that was very interesting. We do get a just kind of random Elise and Justin match. She's just like, Justin's like, hey, I'll stand by you. And it's like, hey, do you want to match? She's like, sure, let's match. So
I do want to call out in confessional. She says, oh, it's, my connection with Harry was like fireworks. This doesn't have fireworks, but it's a slow burner and that could be good. Scally and I were literally just talking about this on Friday. On Love Island, like 99.999% of the time when someone's like, oh, I'm just a slow burner. Oh, this is just a slow burn relationship. No, they're not interested and there's no other viable option. So they're just going to say it's a slow burn with their current connection.
I think it's interesting. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was just going to say that Elise does seem to be the one who is playing this the most strategically and doesn't seem to be engaging her heart in any way. Part of that could be due to the fact that in just like immersing myself on things about this ridiculous show, that she allegedly was in a relationship with someone while the show was shooting.
I mean, it's like half the cast at this point. Half the cast of these Netflix reality shows are in relationships as they come on the show. So it's not even like a big,
It's the only reason we know Trevor's name.
Yeah, it's not even that big of a scandal anymore.
Yeah, I think that happened with season 1 as well. I think Francesca was in a relationship when she went to film as well. So not shocked by that. But also, like, I love Elise basically trying to act like, oh, well, Harry was her soulmate and he was ripped away from her by Micah alone because Micah's so cruel. Like, Kaz carries no responsibility at all, even though they both dragged the faces together.
I would just wonder what Elise's definition of fireworks and Harry's definition of fireworks are. I think they're very different because Elise says it was fireworks with Harry, and I thought Harry's just like more like a dud firework that didn't go off. Like
British fireworks. The Brits are way more understated about showing emotion.
Yeah. We got a couple of really easy matches. Harry and Jess match again pretty easily. Chris and Tolu, because honestly, I don't think there's anyone else there that they were really interested in. They're just like, let's just match and get that over with.
I didn't like how, like, now everyone has been messing with Micah and Kaz so much that even Tolu, who is like their friend, is like, oh man, people must just be sensing a crack that I'm not seeing. Like, they must not be together.
Yeah, and Micah and Kaz, as much as all their drama has gone on this evening, they end the night. I think honestly, Kaz just like tired. He's drunk. He's tired. He's like, let's just go match so we can go to bed and just get this night over with. Like
he's like, I already confused Hawaii for being a country. I've gotta just go to bed.
It was an exhaustion match.
Well, and Mike is like, no, say something nice first. And it's like, okay, like, y'all, I understand that y'all are blackout drunk, but can we just act a little bit more normal for 1 minute?
Can we talk about the real star of their interaction? The frog in the tree.
Yes, there's a frog like living in this one room that's croaking is over all of the drama with Kaz and Micah this whole night.
I just imagine the frog's like actually saying like, "Ooh, shade him, girl, get him." Like that's just what the frog is doing. It's like, tell him about himself. Like,
yeah, that frog is just like us for real.
Yeah, it's like basically a live podcast. So yeah, Britton and Nigel are on their way out the door. I like Britton's like it's almost like I tried to infiltrate a bunch of married couples that aren't swingers. Like it's basically just there's no getting in anywhere. There are no cracks here in the alliances, basically. So they that's a wrap for those two. They're out of here. The next morning, everyone's getting ready. I think they all assume there's going to be another compatibility challenge. They're ready for the day. Nick, much like Jeff Probst coming on the island when he's not expected, everyone's freaking out because Nick is showing up at the villa. Everyone's like, well, what is Nick doing here? What's going on? Nick says, listen, it's fantastic that you all have matched up and you're just staying matched. You're booed up. That's great. But in the real world, you don't spend every other second with your significant other. So we are sending the ladies and the men on separate men's and ladies' days. No, there's no trick here at all. I promise.
This is so perfect because it's like the perfect match take on Casa Amor, which is the best twist in reality TV on Love Island, which is where they separate the established couples for a full week and put them with new singles. And then at the end of the week, they can choose to like stay with their person or bring a new person into the villa. And it's like, if you choose to stay loyal, but you get back and your partner has chosen someone else, you could go home, or at least you're like at risk. And it's the best twist in all of reality TV, period. Like the first time I saw it, I was like, next episode. So I love that Perfect Match is trying to bring in, elements of things that work really well on other dating shows. And this might be the best compatibility challenge yet.
For sure. I mean, forget a week without your significant other. Try an hour without your significant other, because some of these people don't even last that long. LaTonya, I know you're a huge Star Wars fan. In this moment where Nick is like, ladies and guys are going to go on their own separate little fun days, I was like, it's a trap. Like, it's a trap. It's a trap. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. It's a trap.
Yes, but like the part of me that loves mess was very excited for it. So I was like, yeah, just walk on into that trap.
Yeah, you knew it was coming. We get the boys' day. The boys are hanging out, and wouldn't you know, it's almost like when Godzilla shows up. You hear the it's all the ladies that have been looked over, that have not been chosen, that have been here and gone back to the rejection hotel. They're all back. They're all coming to mess with the guys. So we see all of our past house guests, as well as Christine, who we never got to meet. So they're all there now. Steven says, "Oh, it's gonna be pretty awkward." A lot happens here. We see Christine's package. You see the banana trick. Yeah.
I love also that Christina's like, but don't worry, I'm smart too. I know all of the U.S. states in alphabetical order, as if that is the gauge for intelligence.
Yes.
And like that's the thing that will confirm. I'd be like, tell me, like the Pythagorean theorem, like give me, can you solve a quadratic? Like, I just think knowing all the states is not like that impressive. Everyone I know who's American knows all the states in alphabetical order.
Well, I mean, not everybody.
Not everyone.
I don't know if I can say them all. I'll probably miss a couple.
Not in alphabetical order.
Yeah, not every American. Maybe not even alphabetical order. I have to think for a while before I get every state. You know what I mean? So not every American, Kirsten. Don't stereotype us like that, Kirsten.
She knows something that these two Americans don't. I say that as a woman of intelligence, integrity, and energy.
Yeah.
I guess here's the thing. I also was lying because I'm pretty sure Frail Mary and I tried to do like a locate all the states on a map or name all the states because I'm pretty sure we got a shockingly similar score and I am not from America. So
listen, the most American thing is being dumb.
Oh yeah, 100%. That is the number one characteristic of all Americans.
It's I don't know. This is a very niche Canada reference, but they used to have. Well, they still have. There's a show. It's called This Hour Has 24 Minutes or 26. This hour's 28. I don't know. It's a half-hour like comedy sketch show, like Canadian SNL kind of thing. And they used to have a segment on that show called "Talking to Americans," and this Canadian comedian Rick Mercer would go and ask Americans like. A lot of it would be like, oh, can you like find Afghanistan on this map? Oh, have you heard about this? Like someone's name has bridge in it. And I'm like, oh, have you heard about this bridge? And just it's peak comedy. Canadians love talking to Americans.
If I was Canada, I would have to have a show that says America's Dumbest Videos and just play reality shows from America the whole time. Like just play clips from Perfect Match, play clips from all the Netflix reality shows. That's what I would do. Listen. For Harry's part, he clocks his trap 100%. He's like, no, I'm not falling for this. Like, I know what this is. Yet, Harry, you're going to be the one that's going to fall into the trap first and the worst. Mm-hmm. As a spoiler of what's to come, we get the ladies. The ladies are going to also get the guys back. Honestly, I did not even clock most of the guys on this ladies' day. Like, I don't know if Jake even really came back or they just said he came back because I never saw him talk to anyone the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was at the party, but no, like he tried with all the women and none of them were interested in him. So I think that there's probably a little bit of like protect your ego there.
Yeah, I think so. We get to meet Trevor in this little block of time.
Get you.
Yeah, so
we have to. We have no choice.
Honestly, I think this was shot before all the information came out, and then they edited it to make us like think that we were supposed to know that this happened before. Okay, so I think they kind of carefully edited this because I don't think anyone at the mixer knew the deal with Trevor. I just think they just automatically sensed from his personality that he was not someone they wanted to get with. So I think that's the whole like thing there.
I mean, he did not have a good vibe.
No.
His energy was poor.
Yeah. He has the nerve to say that Jess, he and Jess are on the same season, but Jess is just too bougie for him, and he wouldn't go for that. So he singles out Jess, but he won't get any real traction here at the mixer whatsoever.
Yeah, he would never want Jess. It's certainly not that Jess would have no interest in him.
Certainly not. We do get the sense here as well that Elise is kind of feeling Brighton. She says the boys are coming in hot. She's going to try to keep her head on straight. So this is the first kind of trouble we get with Elise and what is on her mind.
Elise wants to be a villain, and she said, I need a villain king to stand beside me.
Yes. Yeah, she went full demon time on that decision. Like,
yes.
I don't even know what to say when you spend the entire show being upset that your like 48-hour connection with Harry was ruined by villainous plotting. And then, you just stay in the house out of spite until you decide that the person who could complete you, your perfect match, is Brighton.
Yeah. So Brighton tries to stir the pot a little bit. He says, I don't know why, Nigel got sent home. She asked Micah what's up. Like, why is she entertaining? Why is she still with Kaz? Like, what's going on? He doesn't know why she won't budge on this. He's the first one to try things with Micah at this point. We also get Elise talk about the fact that she trusts Justin. Brighton said, yeah, you said the same thing about Harry. So what's up with that? Brighton says, I tried with Micah. I think I want to try and test the waters with Elise here as well. He does tell Elise, I didn't want to step on Harry's toes. That's why, I didn't hit on you the first time. Elise says, I get it, but I just can't trust you. I can't trust Brighton. I think if in this moment she has the right thought. Later, we'll see.
Things change the longer the day goes, because the longer the day is, the more alcohol is consumed by everybody
So
on
we
the cast.
start making bad choices.
Yeah, the choices get worse.
Yeah, Brighton says, I know it's got to be born with Justin. I love how Brighton always comes into these conversations telling all the women about themselves and their relationship, and yet he has no idea what's really been going on because he hasn't been in the house. He hasn't really even seen how they interact. He just knows that Justin's too boring for her.
Listen, speaking of demon time, he has his clock permanently marked to that, and he is doing what fuck boys do. He is seeing cracks, and he is working his way to get in the house. He wants more time on the show.
That's it. That's the only reason he is there, is that he just wants to be on the screen, and he knows how fragile Micah seems. And so it just seems like easy prey almost for him.
I think he does have this,
sorry, go ahead.
He's got this sixth sense of telling where the cracks are. He's like, Elise and Micah, those are where the cracks are. That's where I can hopefully get in here and shake some stuff up.
Yeah, and remember, he was only really there for the first matching ceremony. Well, two technically, but the first one where he saw, Micah as like the last person to get picked, and she was kind of like a pick by default. And then, he saw Micah do like a weird wife swap thing, and then he's been out of the picture ever since. So he has reason to believe that maybe Micah's connection is weaker than some of the other ladies.
Listen, credit to him. He's being strategical. So, he's trying to do his thing. Over at the boys mixer, we again see Kaz get a lot of attention here. He's getting a lot of attention from Christine. Christine senses maybe she can get in there. She really tries to get Kaz to kiss her very, very hard. She's really trying to get in there. The other guys are daring Kaz to kiss her. He's like, no. He's like, no. Like, as he's like going closer, he's like, no, I just couldn't. They end up not really kissing. He's able to resist enough. Kaz says he's just not that type of person.
Good for him.
Yeah, the energy that she was putting out there was also very weird.
Very aggressive. Very aggressive.
She hasn't gotten to be on the show. She wants to go into the villa. I get it. I would be trying to get on the show too, especially if you've been sitting in sequester for 20 days at this point and haven't gotten a crumb of screen time. Like, I don't blame her for aggressively trying to get into the house.
Especially as people have been looking at your picture and passing you over.
Yes.
You have to show them why you belong in the house.
Exactly.
She tells him, listen, I know for sure the grass is greener on my side. I was like, okay, Christine.
She's smooth. She's
very smooth.
And she's gorgeous.
Oh, yes.
One of the most beautiful women I've seen in my life.
Yeah, exactly.
Back in the women's mixer, Tolu was trying to encourage Michael to mingle a little bit. Stop thinking about Kaz so much.
Tolu is like, if you're so worried about what Kaz is doing, you should go shopping.
Shopping was a great line.
So we go back to the tired old trope of Micah and Izzy. Izzy's back to be awkward and be a mess.
And wasted. Don't forget wasted.
I did feel he was less awkward and weird in this episode than he has been prior.
Izzy comes over, he's like, I can just tell that you're not yourself. Like, really, from the 5 minutes that you got to know her when you were first in that?
He knows her from her TikTok.
I know
so much time watching her TikToks that he knows her. I mean, obviously.
I just know everything with Kaz is just draining you right now. He says you really need to find the guy with the right intent. And he does apologize. He says, listen, I know the first night we met was weird. But she asks him, who would you want to match? He says, maybe Jess, but definitely Micah would be his number one. They want the same things. Izzy tries to talk to Tolu because I think he's still finding Mike as a brick wall. So he goes back to his old faithful Tolu. She tells him, listen, things with Dom, sorry, they didn't work out, because let's remember Tolu did ditch Izzy for Dom. But she tells him things didn't work out there, but things are going good with Chris. In a confessional, Tolu says she and Chris are locked in, so sorry, Izzy, not going to be for you.
Who told Chris, though? That's my question.
Nobody, because like clockwork, we see Tolu say that. We get to the guys mixer. Chris is telling the ladies, listen, I feel bad they're not exploring more. So he knows time is of the essence. He feels guilty that he's not exploring, and he's there to have a good time and mingling. Maybe without Tolu, that's something. Maybe something about their match. Maybe is spurring him on to want to see what else is out there. And he wonders if Xanthi would be a better match for him. He's so weird in this. He's like, oh, I don't. He's so pity me in this thing. Like, I just haven't. Maybe Zan, maybe you're the match for me. And it makes you think about what we were talking about the last episode, where we were like, is Chris in this for Tolu, or is he in this just to be on the show?
It's so weird. Because he's like, oh, I never had like a chance with Zan, blah, blah, blah. When it's like, no, you literally could have talked to her. She's never been interested in you. You did the weird thing where you told her that you were going to match with Elise. And she was like, why am I here? So why would you think that suddenly she's going to, like, now she's desperate because she's been out of the villa. Like, what do you mean?
Like, he literally tells her, like, I feel like, we would, if this is the outside world, we were just hooked up. And that's exactly what every woman wants to hear, right?
And she's oh, really? Yeah, I guess so.
It's right up there with I love you in terms of things that women love to hear. I really don't. It just makes me question him so much. It was already, I know that things are edited, but it was already so odd the way that he like threw himself at Tolu, before they got together, and how quick that all seemed. It made me suspicious. I've enjoyed seeing the two of them, be playful with one another throughout the show. And I thought that maybe their connection was actually growing, but this scene just kind of tossed all that into doubt for me, and that was annoying.
Yeah, that's the thing about Perfect Match, right? You have this thought, this notion for episodes and episodes, and then in one quick second, they're just like, "Oh, remember everything you thought you knew? Yeah, throw that in the trash because it's all false. It was all a lie."
Yeah, it was all fake. Sorry.
Yeah. So Melinda's back, and she's here to try and stir stuff up, try to get herself back in the house. In confessional, she talks about the effect she has on guys. She says one time she got a guy to move out of his mama's house just for her. Like,
in 3 to 4 business days.
You go get it. And so apparently you find out through, kind of eyewitness reports that apparently Harry kissed Melinda.
Well, but it's Kate. This is what's weird because, like, why would Netflix protect Harry by not showing the footage? Or does he just like know where the blind spot of the cameras is? Like, I don't understand, because Melinda's like, what was that kiss about? And then he's like, nope, never happened. Absolutely not. Like, gaslighting everyone.
He's like, did anyone see it happen? Like, he doesn't even flat out deny it. He's like, did anyone see it happen though?
I think it's two possibilities. So I watched the Wayne Ayers podcast where Melinda was recently a guest. And she said that the whole time that she was hanging out with Harry that day, he kept looking around, kind of trying to see if there were cameras. And there apparently weren't cameras stationed at like the bathroom where they were. So he just kind of snuck a kiss.
Yeah, I mean,
I also have a theory that they could be sitting on the footage and waiting to show it at the reunion.
Yeah, I think it's more in the camp of he knew where the cameras are and the cameras aren't. I think he's the Johnny Bananas of Perfect Match, because Johnny Bananas on the challenge is known to canoodle where he knows cameras aren't. I think Harry tried to do the same thing. I think he may have thought Melinda would have been a willing participant, but I don't think he clocked how much Melinda wants to be on the show and take this opportunity to stir stuff up, and just be that she's just not for this mess. She's not going to lie for you. She's not going to protect you. I think maybe he may have thought that, hey, we're big Netflix personalities. You'll keep this secret from me, right? And she's like, nope, I'm going to throw you right on this bus.
Yeah, she wants to make good TV.
She was the one that came out and was like, Harry, kiss me.
Yeah, she was 100% like upfront with it. And Melinda says the kiss didn't change anything for her. She says he's making stuff up. He walks off. He says, I don't know what you're talking about. No one saw anything. No one saw me kiss her. Did you see me kiss her? Did you see me kiss her? No one says, everyone's like, no, I didn't see you kiss her. And so he's like, didn't happen then.
Yeah. And she'd been carrying him around, or he had been carrying her around the whole day. Like they were wrapped up in each other's arms the whole day.
I really think if he had been like, just keep this a secret and like maybe we can match up, or just like this is just for us and blah blah blah. But the fact that he's to her face saying, oh, this didn't happen, like I just think it's only going to make it into more of a spectacle.
Yeah, I mean he right off the bat accuses Melinda of doing this for clout. He says must have been a deep fake. I mean, does Melinda need that much clout? Does she need your clout, Harry?
No.
Like,
what clout is Melinda getting from Harry? Netflix obviously likes her better than him because they let her host a show.
Yeah.
Like, stop it. She doesn't need your clout. Like, I know, yes, he has a lot of followers. Yes, he's famous on TikTok and OnlyFans, whatever. But, like, she's doing fine.
Yeah. Back over to the ladies mixer, in a confessional, Jess says she's not worried about Harry. She trusts him. She talks to Dom a little bit. We think about Dom talking about his dad leaving when he was 2, and he came back, and Dom told him to get lost. He's going to protect his brother and his mom. I was like, wow, this show got extremely deep for like a millimeter of a second, and then just went left with it again.
It's like they wanted someone on screen to say like, don't fuck around with single moms. It's not cool. They just wanted it like as insurance on them. Like, hey, we never endorsed treating a single mom this way.
And they doubled down on it because in episode 9, Dom is having a conversation with Harry where he's like, I remember every guy my mother dated. So if you aren't serious, then you should leave that mother and daughter alone.
Yeah, Dom is quite an enigma. At one moment we're down with Dom, and then Dom tries to come back and make us root for him again. He's a very up and down guy in this whole thing.
Yeah.
He does say she wants to be a role model for her daughter and give her the best life. Dom says, he's not going to try and go for Jess, but he's really rooting for her in life. We get Brighton again trying to crack that Micah facade, and he asks Micah if she's interested in switching it up. She says basically she's there to keep her options open. Now, for someone that is so paranoid about Kaz doing what he's doing, I feel like that's really affecting her in the way that she is thinking about things, because she's so busy thinking about what Kaz can be doing is really affecting how she's rolling. She's like, well, because I think Kaz may be doing things which she has no way of knowing, maybe I'll try to switch things up too, which is really kind of going against what she's saying here. I was very confused about what Micah's doing here.
All of Micah's actions seem to just be rooted in deep insecurity. I actually feel really sad for her.
Yeah, I think that's why she was so mean on Love is Blind. Like I did not come in being a fan of Micah, just the way that she treated the other women that were in the house during Love is Blind, and like being best friends with Irina in the house. I was like, these are just two mean girls. And now you're totally right. Like I feel sorry for her because she does seem to just be a little bit broken, and like she frets about everything all the time.
Yeah. Very anxious.
And she really lets Brighton get into her head here, because Brighton tells her, listen, Kaz is out there and he wants to explore other people. I said, Brighton, how would you know? You haven't talked to Kaz in days, in weeks, even.
I like how it's like, and then he goes to Micah basically like, and I'm going to tell you something specific that Kaz had told me, but like if it comes back, I'm going to know you told him because nobody else knows this information. And I think he was just proactively lying.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Like,
so he basically tells her, listen, I mean, Kaz wants to explore other people. Micah really kind of falls for this hook, line, and sinker. In confession, she says she's ignored so many red flags. She needs to feel like she can trust him, but she doesn't want to be blindly loyal to Kaz.
No, it's too easy to fool her. Like
It's
Play with people in your own league. Like, what are you doing?
No, unfortunately, manipulators are really adept at figuring out the people who would be most likely to succumb to their manipulation.
Yeah,
and that's what Brighton did.
Brighton is pushing all the right buttons. Get Brighton. I think Brighton belongs on like The Mole or one of those shows. I don't think he really
does. He belong on a show? I don't know.
I think he belongs in an inpatient treatment center, maybe.
But I would rather have him on a like strategical reality show than really just messing with these women's feelings.
Isn't that what he was doing on Squid Games and everyone hated him?
He was terrible there too.
Yeah, but that's less of a like. I mean, it's a social strategical game, but it's less of a. I don't know how to explain it. I think he just would belong on a show where he's just could be outwardly evil, like the Mole.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we get everyone coming back to the villa. The boys come back. They're really sweating because they know they have really showed their ass on this boys' day, so they know what's coming for them. They give the girls these stories about what went on. It's like, oh, nothing. We were all good. Jess says, so what? Where's Harry? She says, oh, he's lying down. He's not feeling well. She comes to visit him in the bed. He's like, I'm just not feeling well. You know, things didn't go great today. Harry knows what is on the way. Harry is trying to preemptively, curtail the storm.
What's wild to me is at the start, when they started their mixers with the other singles that are not in the villa, they were specifically told tomorrow night there will be a mixer with everybody. Mm-hmm. You know what you do is going to get back to the other people in the villa. There are no secrets. And yet everyone acted like they could just do whatever they want. There will be no consequences. No one will ever find out. And Harry seems to be the only one who's like, I've got to do damage control ahead of time because I know, like, they all know it's coming. He's the only one trying to do damage control. And I do not mean that as a compliment to Harry because I'm so sick of his bullshit. Wah, I got caught. People think poorly of me because of my words and actions, and it's not fair. Like, make a different choice for once in your life.
Yeah, he tries to get in front of it. He says, listen, I don't feel like I was a good representation for you and for Autumn. I wasn't a good male figure for her. Jess is like, what are you talking about? What did you do? he says, well, I just wasn't mature enough. Jess gets up and walks out. He chases after her. He says, let's just talk. Harry tries to soften the blow. He's like, listen, I did something terrible. I carried Melinda around. And she, that was my big sin. He says he knows it wasn't okay, and he didn't like that he hurt her.
And this is where I'm also like, okay, so you're gonna be a gaslighter and be weird. At the very least, why aren't you setting up like? And she accused me of kissing her, and I never even kissed her, and it was so weird, and it ruined the whole day because she was lying for clout. Like, at least. Can we set up your lies in like 1 minute in advance? Like, this is coming. She said it in front of everyone. Why would she not say it to the women? Like, at least like lie. Like, I lie better. Come on.
If you're gonna lie, be smart about it.
Yeah.
Honestly, the best part about this whole Harry and Jess debacle is the fact that when Jess is angry with a man, it's hilarious. Mm-hmm. So, she like just kind of snapped on him, and I was living for it. I was like, where is that side of your brain? All of the other times.
Yeah, she kind of gets her mom energy. She's like, you are responsible for yourself. No one feels sorry for you. How would you feel if roles were reversed and I was just up on some other guy? He says, well, Melinda was trying to set me up. Like, wow. Like, you really are just throwing her straight under the bus here. Trying to.
Well, and this is the other thing too, and part of what I'm theorizing got her so mad is that he's like bringing up her daughter's name and like talking about being a bad example. Like, don't bring her child into this.
Yeah, but she does kind of fall for it a little bit. She says, I am disappointed in you, but I am impressed that you cared about the representation for me and Autumn. She says, we're fine right now. I'll be humane about it. He tells me, like, so you make me so happy and you inspire me. You make me feel good about the future. Gross. He's really taken this act to whole other levels at this point.
It's so gross. Yeah. I don't like him.
Not at all. Every time he comes on screen, I'm like, boo, tomato, tomato. Like, can we please move on to whoever the next couple is? It's just the way he's so gross and like pretends to get hurt and so offended by people bringing up very true things about him. Like, that is a terrible thing to say about someone. He's constantly gaslighting people.
One, like, he also, like, just the whole thing. Why would he be upstairs crying in bed if he did nothing wrong? Right? Like, if he really, like, you are not, these are not the actions of an innocent person. Just, ugh.
Yeah, he is really the villain of this show. Sometimes you love to hate villains. I just think I hate him. Like, it's like, I don't think I love to hate him. I just think I hate him. Like, he kind of sucks. He's kind of terrible.
He was a lot more fun to watch on like Too Hot to Handle, where it's just like, what are you doing? What do you mean you lost $30,000? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, it's a lot less fun when he's playing with people that, you know, and their children. Like, that's not a good lane. That's not a great lane here. So we do get Micah and Kaz, more of their saga. They talk privately. Micah says she feels like she's always being tested in this relationship. I say, Micah, it's because people know how to get to you. They know that you are the one to target. They know that about your insecurities. They know that you are the one that they can get to crack. I think that's why you're being tested so much. It's a little bit on you in this regard. It is also partly because Kaz will talk to anyone, but I think it's because they know you're an easy target at this point.
Yeah, she's 100% an easy target. It's honestly a little bit embarrassing.
Yeah, she does admit to him that she talked to Brighton, but she doesn't admit the whole thing. He says he feels like he has to dig with her. He feels like he's hiding things. She says she doesn't want to talk to him, but then she tells him what Brighton said about wanting others in the house. Kaz assures her there's nothing going on. He is being open and honest. Micah says she's still kind of feeling resentment, and it's not fair to him. She assures him that she still wants him. Nothing has changed for her. Kaz again, not great in the reassurance department. He says, well, listen, I'm not sure what's going to happen tomorrow, but I'm going to be open and honest with everything. This pretty much just sends Micah into a new spiral at this point.
Which is like, okay, fine, she's going to spiral. But he has a point where he's like, I'm telling you what happened. I have always told you what happened in these conversations and been honest with you. And now you won't tell me anything. And I'm having to push for every little crumb. So, like, I do think she brings a little bit of it on her. Like, maybe she's so afraid of being hurt that she doesn't want to fully put herself out there and be fully open. But it's just total self-sabotage from her.
Yeah, 100%. She's her own worst enemy in a lot of these conversations and a lot of these situations. We do get the big mixer has started. The guys there's no big lead up to this. The guys just kind of walk in like, oh, okay, I guess the mixer has started now.
Mixer
Brighton,
time.
Yeah, Brighton comes in ready to cause trouble. He says he can see the insecurities of some of these ladies, and he's gonna try and use that. I said,
and it's like, you just said that out loud on TV. Do you realize what you just said?
Oh man, the ladies also come in, and Harry tries to intercept Melinda and have a talk, where she's like, "Nope, I got my ammo. I'm ready to fire all my shots." She is ready to let him have it. So Nick shows up and basically asks how's it going. Christine throws Kaz right under the bus. She's like, "I had a great talk with Kaz, and we're going to see what's going on." Micah her head must be like just exploding.
Yeah.
Nick does tell everyone, so listen, guys, everyone here is in play. Anyone can match with anyone. And I again left wondering, but is there a limit to the matches? Like where we capping this at? Who can match with who? Because we now are going to have seemingly 10 people that were matched. Can all 10 people match with someone? Like, I wish we could have got a little more explanation here.
I think in theory they could. I don't know how. Or is it like there's a limit of bedrooms, and like at a certain point, if everyone's matched, you're out of luck? Like,
is he scared to say there's a 5 match limit? Because then everyone would just go run to other people like, let's match, let's go, come on, we gotta get a match while the getting is good. I don't know. It's weird. It's very nebulous. So this we do get the start of the Harry, Jess, Melinda, epic saga. Yes. All ladies get together, and the ladies that were matched previously says, well, the guys said that you all came in there and you all seemed a little desperate. Jess says, listen, Melinda, Harry did tell me what about your little interaction. Melinda says, oh, did he tell you that we kissed? And this sends shockwaves through the ladies group, like, oh my god, everyone is very shocked.
And Jessica gets mad, like, wow, are you proud of
Yeah.
yourself for bringing it up in this blah, blah, blah. And it's like, Jessica, you brought it up. You said in front of everyone, Harry told me what happened. And then she asked a clarifying question and suddenly it's Melinda's fault. Like, stand down.
Yeah, she really takes Melinda to task here.
According to that podcast that I watched with Melinda, she said that it didn't just, like, she didn't just come out and say it. Apparently, Jess first confronted Melinda and said something like, so what is this about you and Harry kissing? So she must have heard about it earlier, or Harry told her, but the producers of the show and the editors of the show are making some really annoying editorial decisions when it comes to the like what they choose to give context to protect certain people, and how they'll just let other people, go to the wolves.
I don't care for that.
Yeah, for sure. And Jess is very indignant here, and I will point out that it also has come out that Jess apparently was also dating someone at the time of this filming as well, which was someone from her season of Love Is Blind. That apparently what we didn't see on the show was that it was between that this guy was one of her people that was in contention, but we never even saw him on the show really. But apparently they have been dating for quite a while at this point. They took a break to go for a perfect match.
But what's weird about this is, so Harry Jowsey just did a podcast, or on his podcast, said that when he was on Dancing with the Stars, which happened shortly after this aired, that he was in a secret relationship that he couldn't talk about, and it wasn't with his dance partner from Dancing with the Stars, who everyone thought he was dating. And then there's vacation photos of him and Jess from after this that came out. So it is like so much messier than it seems.
It's a lot of mess. So, I think the thing with Jess was that I don't know if she actually broke it off with this guy, or just like there was an understanding of like, hey, I got to go on this show because that's kind of what I want to do with my life, is be on these Netflix reality shows. So I'm going to kind of go over here and do that thing. And he was kind of understanding about it. And yes, from what we do know, Harry and Jess did date for a little while after this show. I mean, spoiler for sure. I don't know what they're going to show on the next episode, but they do apparently date a little bit after this, but they do break up shortly after. And Jess went back with the Love Is Blind guy after the thing with Harry. So it's a very messy. It's a very messy.
Is she with that person now, or is
that I'm not sure of? I do know that they were together after the whole thing with Harry. I don't know if they are currently together now.
Wow. Mess.
Yeah. Messy mess. But back on the show where Jess is confronting Melinda, Harry does walk by and Jess tries to get Harry, and Harry is not trying to get it. He's like, I'll be back. And she's like, no, you come here now. He says she just wants her 15 minutes. Britton says, oh yeah, well, why was her makeup on your nose? More evidence of what happened here. Jess is still popping off of Melinda a little bit, just as you're trying to embarrass me on this show. Melinda says, listen here, do not treat me like a child. So, here we go.
Yeah.
I
do not appreciate,
which, like, fair. She was being spoken to like she was a child.
I do not appreciate the way that Jess was coming at Melinda at all, and then characterizing Melinda as the one who was aggressive.
Melinda says, listen, I'm not here to argue over mediocre men. Obviously what you and Harry have is not genuine because he kissed me. So I was like, serve it, Melinda. Melinda said, listen, I might not match on the show, but I'm going to make my time here memorable. And I love that about Melinda.
It's what she does. She's so good on, like, just such great TV. She was so fun on her season of Too Hot to Handle. So not surprised at all that she's bringing entertaining energy to this show as well.
Yeah, Melinda does say Harry's trying to gaslight everyone here. Why would she kiss him for clout? Which I think is what every one of us is asking. Like, why would you need Harry for clout? This is Melinda, like. She also brings up the fact, like, she's giving all the tea about her time with this limited time she had with Harry. Apparently, a lot was covered because she says Harry even talked to me about the the distance between you two, and he even chuckled about how far apart you guys are and that it wouldn't ever work out because you guys are so far apart.
the part that was the most interesting to me though was the like pregnancy talk that came up.
Yeah.
Because it's the editing really doesn't make sense. Like at one point you see Harry talking to Jessica and he's like, oh yeah, I like told her she would look good pregnant. And it's like, where the fuck is this coming from? And then Melinda's like, oh yeah, we were talking about how like we're grown and we're like ready to like have babies. And then Harry said, oh, you want a baby? I'll put a baby in you. And like,
right.
I'm like, what do you like?
Yes.
Why did any of this happen? And why are we even only finding out about part of it? There should not have been 1 square inch of that cenote that was not cameraed, and I like Netflix screwed up because just show me the footage.
He's one of those people who's turned on by pregnancy. He's like obsessed with moms.
It's weird. Dom,
Like, but I don't think he had dated any moms in the past either, which is why it's so bizarre coming out now.
This is a new proclivity he's found. I don't know. He sits and talks to Dom about this whole thing. Harry says it's all a lie. He says it's my word against hers. I feel like whenever you say that means you're probably guilty. you probably did whatever it is. When you're just like it's my word against hers, you did it. I think. Harry says he was just playing into the process and he got a little too friendly, but that's it. The kids, he didn't kiss anyone.
That's the whole thing. Oh, I was too friendly. Too friendly. No, you were being weird. Stop it.
The body shot was on camera, you know, like we can see you. Surprise, you're on television.
Yeah, I think Dom knows that this is all BS. He's like, listen, just keep in mind that whatever you do here is going to affect her and her kid. Don't give either of them false hope. And Harry's just like, yeah, I mean, she's just so great. I don't want to do anything to mess it up. Okay, Harry. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, too late. You should have told that to yourself yesterday.
I don't want to do anything else.
Yeah. We do get Xanthi telling Tolu about the interaction she had with Chris at the guys mixer and about how Chris was kind of wanting to explore other options, and Tolu is pissed. She says Chris hadn't said anything like that to her. She says he was on demon time. Tolu goes to confront Chris about this, and as she tells us, she says, "I didn't know I was an option. I thought I was the one."
Mm-hmm.
Tolu tells Chris about what Zan said. He says, no, that's just not true. I never say anything like that. And Tolu says, oh, well, good thing Xanthi's over here. Let's call her over and see what she says. Xanthi comes over, basically says the same exact thing she said to Tolu about what Chris said. And Chris, again, is denying it. And Xanthi's like, come on now. Like, let's be real about what you said. Literally, man, it's on camera. Like, you definitely said it. Whether you admit it now or we find out later, you definitely said it. So Tolu kind of dismisses Xanthi and she confronts Chris. Chris is trying to say he wants to be with her, and Tolu's like, so is that because the other ladies have found out you're a piece of trash and you don't have any other options? They're going to stick with me now, or what's up?
He's like, oh yeah, I was never flirting with Xanthi. Stop it. You were shut down by her. Like, he's going full deny, which, is probably what he has to do at this point in order to stay in the game, but it's ugly and I don't like it. I don't like Tolu being treated this way.
No. And apparently all of the women who were coming into the house had decided as a group that they were going to tell the women that were in the house already exactly what had gone down.
Well, that's their best bet to get back into the game is to break up these couples by telling them that their men were flirting with them, so that maybe they will break up with those men and they will deal with those men.
I also think in particular, Xanthi and Dominique are like, they're over the game. They don't want to come back in the house. They like, this is not for them. Like, Dominique had a horrible time with Brighton arguing about basically every social issue under the sun. It seems from her interviews post game.
That's what she said.
Yeah. And I believe her because the amount of anger she had about like Pilates didn't make sense. So it does make a lot of sense that there was more going on behind the scenes that they just didn't want to show us for, there's various valid and invalid reasons for that. And I think Xanthi was just like, this show's not for her. She didn't even want to kiss anyone. She realized that dating shows are not for her. And she's like, let's tell the truth about these men. Like they have I don't even think either of them have any agenda. They just are like, expose these demons.
Yes, and we love them for that. We love them for for coming in here and telling the truth and showing what's real and what's not. We do get Justin Harry talking again. Harry tries to apologize again. But he's still maintaining he did not kiss her. He didn't kiss her. She gives him so many chances to tell the truth. She's like, just tell me the real truth. Like, tell me what really happened. He says, no, she's just trying to make you look bad. He says, okay, well, I did look at her stomach and tell she would look good pregnant. Like, I did do that.
No.
Like, that's almost as bad, man. That's almost as bad.
That's all.
It might be worse. It truly might be worse. The other thing too is like when you look at the episodes, Melinda's story is consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This happened. This happened. This happened. This is what Harry did. And no matter who she is telling the story to, whether it's Harry to his face, the women, another man, anyone, she has a consistent story. Harry, when he talks to Dom, one thing happened. When he talks to Jessica, another thing happened. When he starts getting exposed, suddenly there's more details arising that he never shared before. It's like, you can tell he's lying.
Yeah. He tries to tell, listen, I love you. She says, you're making me look like a whole ass fool. He says, no, I love you so much. And the funny thing is, we get like kind of the clown music over what Harry is saying. He's like, it's like, no, I love you so much. Like even the show's editors are like, this is BS. Like we know this guy's not real.
The fact that these two are now exchanging I love yous is so
Wild.
bizarre. Like, because they said it to each other before this point as well.
Yes.
And it came out, it was like they had like the little argument the day before, and then the next day it's all of a sudden they're exchanging I love yous. And I'm like, oh, he escalated the love bombing to another level in advance of what was going to happen today.
Yeah.
My thing with these two is I think both of these people play the Netflix game. I think they play it well. I think the problem is Harry effed up by doing this with Melinda, and now Jess has to respond in this way. She was fine playing the game with Harry when they were like new it couple on the Netflix streets, but when he plays in her face like that, she's got to call him out.
It's like, wow, I didn't think that the leopards who eat faces would eat my face, you know?
She just feels embarrassed, and she doesn't seem to have much of that energy for him. She'd rather go after Melinda, which is a choice.
Yeah, it's just an ugly energy. Like like obviously I understand, like if you're especially in real life, if you're in a real relationship and someone cheats, like you're gonna probably feel some resentment to both parties in the cheating. But it's like you gotta just remind yourself who's truly at fault, and it's your person who cheats on you. Period.
Mm-hmm.
They're the most at fault of anyone, and that's who that energy should be kept for. But she doesn't seem to have that energy for Harry, which I do not appreciate
whatsoever.
And again, they're not in a real relationship. Like all of this is also just like you've known each other 2 weeks.
I just want to scream at the TV. None of you are in real relationships.
But they love each other. But Daddy, I love
you
him
so much. Yes.
No.
Don't do it. So we go back to the Micah and Kaz of it all. Brighton's telling Kaz that, well, Micah said you guys are one of the weakest couples. Kaz says, what? Well, Micah saw me with one of the strongest. So this really gets under Kaz's skin. He says, there's these girls trying to get me, and I'm trying to talk to Christine, but there's so much going on. Micah says Christine says she's not waiting around for some dude. Kaz says she is high on his list. She's like, no, I want to be number one. I don't want to be high on the list. I want to be number one. She says, if I'm so high on your list, kiss me. She's still trying to get him to kiss her. He refuses. He's able to resist one more time, and he wants to get to know everyone, he says. So at this point, I think Kaz's resolve is lessening about.
He even says you're my number one too, which is wild.
So it's like is really wild. I think Micah's also getting that kind of sense here that Kaz is running away from her. And Brighton, for his part, sees blood in the water and kind of descends on Micah. He says, he says, I need someone quiet who won't argue. It's like, okay, great. That's
red flag.
And for some reason, that's like that turns these people on for some reason. Micah says, well, she and Kaz argued a lot about him being a piece of shit. And she wants him to be with someone that chooses her every single time. And she doesn't realize that Kaz has literally chosen her every single time, literally the whole season. It's like, what are you talking about, Micah? What? Like you just have gotten yourself so turned around at this point.
That's no good.
Yeah. Elise is pissed that Micah's talking to Brighton. Elise wants it for herself. Why are people fighting over Brighton? I really don't understand. I don't get it.
I don't know. I like, especially these women who've been there since day one, who saw him being horrible with Dominique as well. Like, in no frame have we seen Brighton talk to a woman in a way that is appropriate by any means. Like, he just doesn't. He talks down to the women so much. I don't know how any of them are buying it. Like, I don't know, maybe he smells amazing. I couldn't tell you, but it's just so bizarre. And Elise has decided, like, she has taken her full villain turn, and she needs to lean into that.
Maybe she wants his wall. Sorry, I was just gonna say maybe she just wants his skin and lip care regimen because he's glowing.
He is glowing. And like, just statistically, Elise probably doesn't moisturize enough, so she could use some help probably.
Yeah, but Brighton does give us his patented saying: "Don't hate the player, hate the game." That is trademark.
He invented.
Yeah, he invented it. Not everyone says that same thing time and time again. It's not a cliche at all.
I will say what I always say when people on these shows say, "Don't hate the player, hate the game." I have room in my heart to hate both, actually. Thank you.
I don't know why, but I was like so intrigued by what his like tried and true saying might be. And when that is what came out, I
actually really love, though, when people say, like, "Oh, as I always say," insert like extremely cliche thing that you've probably also never heard them say before. Like, literally 12 years ago, a girl said to me, "As I always say, you do you," and it has lived in my brain rent-free ever since, because I'm like, okay, yeah, as you always say, no one else has ever said that before.
Nope, not one person.
Like, over a decade, it's still up there.
I wouldn't put it past Brighton and his big ego to think that he came up with that saying and not everyone just copying off of him. Like, I wouldn't put it past him whatsoever, honestly.
He's the one suing Taylor Swift over Shake It Off.
Yeah. We do get a group game of beer pong, and if you lose in beer pong, you have to kiss the person. Flip cup, whatever. I don't do these things, so you guys tell me.
But you've never played flip cup?
Really?
No, never.
Do you not drink?
I don't. But do you need to drink?
Okay, but have you you've been to parties?
Have I? I think you're overestimating my level of social interaction, Kirsten.
Well, okay. Anyways, Flip Cup is a very fun drinking game where you have you're in teams and you're in a row and you have, like, I don't know, maybe a third of the solo cup filled with your drink, typically beer. You have to it goes in a chain. The first person drinks their drink, and then they put the cup with the bottom of the cup down on the table, and you have to flip it so that it is upside down on the table. Once it's fully flipped, the next person on the relay can go, and your whole team needs to finish before the other team in order to win. It's a very fun drinking game.
It's amazing. I would recommend the Flipadelphia episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia as a companion piece to your games.
I'll add that to the list here.
And like, you could just like drink water and still play drinking games. Like, you don't have to.
That's true.
Abuse alcohol in order to enjoy the games.
But it helps.
I will do that. I will find someone to play Flip Cup with me. Maybe you guys can play with me virtually. Will it work virtually?
Well, I don't think it would work virtually, but I feel like, surely at some point there'll be a live event that we're all at, and we can organize. Maybe some podcaster Flip Cup is in the cards.
That sounds really fun.
Schedule it. Do it. Schedule it.
Put it in the schedule.
But the group is playing Flip Cup. I'm sorry, Flip Cup.
Yeah, how dare you.
And the loser of each round has to kiss the person they want to be matched with. So Christine
I guess they are playing it in a weird way, where it's like you're just racing the person across from you. It's not actually being played as a relay.
Christine loses first. She decides because Kaz won't kiss her, she decides to kiss Nigel instead. Kaz is actually kind of bummed. He's like, "Oh, she's kissing another guy." I mean, listen, Kaz, you want to kiss her, so what did you expect her to do? We then also get Nigel kissing Totally. There's a lot of kissing going on. Nigel kisses Totally when he loses. So for some reason, Kaz won't kiss anyone else. He won't kiss Christine, but he will kiss Holly. He ends up kissing Holly right in front of Micah. It is a extremely long, extremely steamy kiss. And for Micah's part, she looks like somebody just punched her in the face. She's just like, she is disgusted. She is through with him, even though she has been entertaining Brighton this whole time. The audacity of Micah to be this insulted.
But she also walks up at like like from the edit at least, she walks up at the exact moment that he is going in for the kill and then kisses her for so long. It seems like the makeout that never ends. Like, okay, 7 minutes in heaven. Like, I don't.
And it is so like a fuckboy to be like, I didn't even feel anything after a minute-long kiss in front of everyone.
Nothing. I kept trying. I really thought if I just kept going, I'd feel a tingle, but nothing. There's just nothing there.
He says he got no tingle, and he's trying to talk to Mike. He says, "Listen, why are you so pissed off about a game?" She says, Micah says she is so genuine in her feelings. Kat says, "F off, you ain't genuine. You're not telling the truth. You're over there talking to Brighton." She says she claims she's doing nothing. He says, "Listen, I don't like double standards. Like you're not holding yourself to what you're saying. I'm through with this. I'm done with this." Xanthi comes over to the rescue. Xanthi is really lifting up her girls in this. She's not here to find some F-boy. She's here to support her girls. Okay. So she comes over to kind of try to pump up Micah. Cass says people are telling him that she's not giving him the same thing that he's giving her, and they're wondering why he's still with her. Xanthi tells Micah, "You're too good for this. Like, he showed you who he was. Go get someone fun at this point and go just have a good time." Everyone's kind of at this point drunk, crying. No one knows what to do. Everyone's kind of blackout at this point. Izzy comes over to Micah and it's like, "Hey, I saw." Izzy was just waiting in the corner for like his right moment to strike. So he comes over. He's like, "Hey, girl, like I see you struggling over here." For Kaz's part, Christine comes over to him. Kaz is very drunk at this point. He says his head is very scrambled. He doesn't know what to do. But then eventually Christine pretty much takes advantage of the situation. She says, "What do you want to match with me?" And Kaz agrees to match with Christine. And they are our first match of the night.
Well, absolutely wild. Just craziness. So wild.
Tolu breaks news to Micah. Micah panics. She says, "I'm not sure who I can match with around here. If Kaz isn't here, I'll have to match with someone else." Izzy in the corner just like, "Excellent. Very good. Very good." To go back to the Jess, Harry, Melinda drama, Jess talks to Dom. Dom says, "Listen, he and Harry are close. He's sorry she's put in that position. Mel just wanted her. Mel wanted her moment," is what Dom says. "I'm sick of these guys putting it on Melinda. Like we have gotten almost every man here putting it on Melinda, saying she wanted her moment. She wanted clout. Just despicable, if you ask me."
It's so weird, especially like, first of all, everybody wants clout. That's why they're on this stupid show. And so it's so weird when they would also like weaponize that as a way to discredit what someone is saying. It is so weird.
So everyone's trying to talk to Jess at this point, trying to get her to understand that Harry's a good guy. You really should go back with Harry. Steven says he knows how women works, and he knows that Melinda's just chasing clouds. Like, Steven, we were rooting for you up until this point. You just had to show your ass here. Jess and Melinda talk again. Melinda says she feels gaslit by Harry. Now Mel is saying, Mel's now coming out with, he says, "I want to F you." He says he put a baby in me. I was like, wow. Like she reveals more every time she and Jess talk.
Just more and more keeps coming out. It's so gross.
It's so awkward. Like I can't even imagine being in that situation and then having to hear all of the things that happened when I wasn't around for like 5 hours.
Yeah. A single afternoon.
Yeah. So now out of the blue, you get Elise and Justin talking. Elise just kind of comes out and says, "Listen, I just don't know if, well, Justin tells her he doesn't see a future with anyone but her." I'm just like, when did this happen? Justin, I feel like Justin has said probably about 10 words throughout this whole series so far.
Justin was the one also who I think during like the afternoon away from the couples was like, "Oh yeah, well I was an English major." And then I think Dominique is like, "Oh, what's your favorite book?" And he's like,
Good Night Moon.
Good Night Moon. So like, yeah, he doesn't seem to have much to say.
Not a lot going on up there.
Rich inner world for Justin.
Yeah. I did love how when Justin was talking to Elise, all she could think about was Brighton. I love the editing
they
here.
did the music. It was so funny.
Yeah. She says she doesn't want to be serious so fast. She's kind of thrown by how serious Justin's getting at this point. Honestly, I probably would be too if Justin's talking about,
No, but
I don't see a future with anyone but you. Like, dude, I've known you for what, 5 days?
But which is it? Is it a slow burn or is it moving too fast?
Right.
It's not adding up. I guess it's a slow burn for her, which is
Some
indication
slow
that it's
burns
over.
move really quickly. That's the problem. You know, you never know how slow a slow burn is.
Like what is
classic fast
slow to
slow
you?
burns?
Yeah, what is slow to you? Everyone has their different definition of slow and fast. So, I mean, hers is probably about a medium. Harry was going too fast. Justin's going too slow. It's like somewhere in the middle would be perfect for her. So maybe she thinks that Brighton is her perfect middle. She sits and talks with Brighton. She says she's here to find it. She says she's here to find a perfect match. She is drawn to his crazy, untrustworthy energy. Brighton points out, well, you did trust Harry. She says that was slow going with Harry. Now she is slow going with Justin. Now she's like, F it. I'm just here to have fun. She asked why he didn't speak to her tonight. He says, because you said you were solid, so I didn't even bother. She says, yeah, she wants something fun, and Justin just isn't that. In a confessional, Chris says he sees the conversation and it makes him a little nervous because people are getting matched up. Elise says she needs to be true to herself, tells Brighton she wants to match with him, and he agrees. And Elise and Brighton, out of nowhere, kind of are our match.
And this is where Elise is like extra villainous, I think, because she should have told Justin she was going to go match with someone else, but she didn't tell him until she was already matched, and then basically acts so surprised when Justin is upset and doesn't want to hear her out. He's like, I literally just told you I don't want anyone else here. And then you immediately went and matched with somebody else. So like, no, I don't want to hear your explanation. And she's acting like she's being attacked because he does no, he doesn't have to hear you out, Elise. That's not something that has to happen.
I think it's probably also part of Elise that is doing this to take Brighton off the table for Micah. I feel like she may have seen Kaz match and was like, you know what, let me F Micah over here and match with Brighton right now and just kind of maybe get her out of the game.
Revenge.
Everything that Elise has done this entire season has been rooted in getting revenge on people, which, like, kudos, I guess. I guess we stand a vengeful queen, but good Lord.
I think the whole thing is like, if something had actually been done to her, like a real harm that could be measured, I'd be like, yeah, get him, girl, be petty. But I'm like, I think Micah saved you from the worst man in the world, and you are now setting everything on fire because of Harry Jowsey?
Yeah.
Like, what a self-report for Elise. Like, huh?
Yeah. Micah is having herself a little pity party because all of her, options are now gone. And wouldn't you know it, who's still at the party in the corner is Izzy. Micah goes to Izzy. She's like, I just want to be comfortable with someone. And, you feel so genuine. He says, Izzy's like, I've been trying to tell you that. I've been trying to get you to see that. And she's like, okay, so do you want to match or what? Because obviously you're the only option left for me. So Izzy and Micah do indeed match. Which really, if you would have told me that Izzy was going to match with someone when he came back here, I would have told you were crazy.
He was so drunk. Him, when she was like, everyone in this house, I can't deal with them. That's what I've been trying to tell you, honey. I was like,
I told you it was me. I told you I was the one you should have been with the whole time.
Yeah, he's not
so funny.
Not doing good.
Yeah, so Tolu was also trying to still find her match. She and Nigel talk, doesn't really go much anywhere. Chris comes and tells Tolu he could have gone about things a better way. It sucks to know that he messed up and is going home now. He's really throwing himself everyone's throwing themselves pity parties at this point.
He's weeping, he's crying, he's trying to guilt trip her into picking him. I was just trying to give the other girls a chance. Like, don't let me make you feel guilty. No, you're literally trying to guilt trip her on purpose to stay in the villa. You honestly, like, listen, there are short kings in this world. Chris is not one of them.
But listen, it works because Tolu says, sure, let's match. They are our next match. I just feel like Tolu's looking around. She's like, I just don't see many options here. Let me go with what's been working for the last couple days. Sure, Chris, why not? Stephen and Alara match very easily, very fast. We come back to Harry and Jess. Harry's talking to Stephen about being judged. Stephen, for his part, says, "Well, listen, you kind of got to grow up and face your consequences a little bit, and of what you've done. This is kind of time for you to show growth and show that you can change, that you can be an adult." Harry doesn't listen to that whatsoever because he's still saying Melinda's just out to get me, but he wants to prove to Jess that he isn't a horrible person. He and Jess sit and chat. He tells her again that she is the only one for him, and he's been worried sick about this whole situation. She says she wants to make sure she doesn't look like a fool in front of her daughter. And I think Harry is getting the notion now that she's going to reject him. So he kind of starts panicking, talking really fast, trying to convince her and said he wants to stay, but he's sick of having to defend himself. He loves her and wants to continue to blossom this and move forward. He asked her, is there any chance? What are you going to do, Jessica? And that's the end.
End credits.
Episodes. That's fade to black. To be continued. We're going to see next episode what she chooses to do. I think at this point she's just going to choose to stay match with Harry because again, there's not much else to do here.
We're right at the end of the show. They're going to select the winner in the next episode. So probably like the day after this is the final vote to determine who's going to win. Like, what, you're going to just give up a chance of maybe possibly winning to go pick someone new where you absolutely won't win? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And especially since we've seen, photos of them in the wild, I feel like it's pretty clear that they are going to match up. But if Steven and Alara do not win this season, I will be so mad.
Same.
If last season was any indication, I would have guessed they're not going to win because they don't. Listen, you have people coming in here because for those that don't know, this is the first season, their perfect match. They have all of the people from the singles pool. They have everyone come and vote, even people that have never seen these couples for more than 5 minutes. They have them coming in and vote, so it's pretty much kind of a blind vote for a lot of these people because a lot of these people haven't been in the house more than 5 minutes because a lot of our couples have stayed solid throughout the whole time. So I feel like these votes are really not going to mean anything. They're not going to come from a real place of knowledge. So who knows who's going to win this episode? Do we want to give any predictions about who is going to win this season of Perfect Match?
I have to predict Stefan and Alara. I can't understand the universe in which anybody else wins.
But this is also a show where Joey and Carousel didn't win last season. They were the most solid couple of the season.
I feel like people didn't like Joey and Carousel, though.
Yeah, that's true.
I think Stefan and Alara are liked. You see lots of scenes of them chatting with the other people in the villa and having fun.
Yeah.
They do seem, I mean, I would say them as well, just because they seem like the couple who has grown the most together. And actually seem like to have a relationship that's based on more than just wanting to stay in the villa. But I can also see the cast just being like, when Harry and Jess inevitably stay together, like they were able to, weather the storm essentially.
Yeah, I was going to throw a wrench in there and say Harry and Jess because they'll stay together and they went through so much adversity.
And we saw photos of Harry and Jess on a vacation. Maybe that was simply just the prize for Perfect Match.
I only learned a little while ago that the only prize for this show is a vacation.
And it's really funny too because you get being on the show is a vacation. And then if you win the show, you just get a second vacation.
More vacation.
And is it, what, do they just stay until, you get an additional week in Tulum. Here's your little, place
here's your
to
moped.
Stay.
Here's your sidecar.
I would love to see the chaos of Harry and Jess winning, but I feel like it's going to be something weird, like a Tolu and Chris winning or something like that. I think that would be very bizarre. But yes, that's all of our episodes for this time, folks. Had a blast going through it with you, Kirsten, you, LT. LT, thanks for joining us this drop. I had a fun time talking all this with you. Tell the folks where they can find you and if they want to keep up with all your shenanigans going on.
Thank you both so much for having me. I guess you should be careful what you put out into the universe.
Haley Strong will wingman you.
She will. I'm genuinely happy that I got to be here to talk about this today with you all. Please follow me on Twitter at LK Starks. I will be talking about the season finale already of Top Chef this week with Haley and Kurt and a couple special guests, hopefully. So tune in for that. And then I just earlier today talked to DM Philly for this Page and Screen podcast about House of the Dragon season 2 episode 1. I cannot be the only person who is beyond excited that the second season of Hot D is here, and I'm really excited to talk about it all season with Philly. So catch me doing those things, and on Twitter I'll tell you when I'm doing more.
Hot D sounds like the next reality show that a lot of these people are going to want to try and be on.
Yeah, that's what we're covering here on Hot Dummies.
Yeah. Kirsten, how about you? Where can people find you?
Yes, so Love Island USA has started. So Brian Scally and myself are here every week on Wednesday and Friday nights, breaking down the Love Island USA episodes. As well, Jenny Autumn and I think it's coming up next week, are going to be breaking down just the rest of what happened on Lovers and Liars, the F Girl Island renamed project. And you can follow Mess Magnets with myself and Sasha Joseph, where we break down celebrity gossip, pop culture, trending topics, all of that. And this week also, I'm going to be guesting on the 90 Day Fiancé wrap up after Jason did last week. So check that out. And what about you, Jason?
You can find me in a couple places. I have started a new podcast venture called The Good Pod, where Marissa Garza and I rewatch the show The Good Wife. Have a lot of fun doing that. We just started a few weeks ago, so come on and join the fun. Also, you can find me most recently talking about the Netflix movie Hitman on Nothing But Netflix with Chappelle. I had a lot of fun breaking that down with him. You can also find me on Twitter at JAYR1085. Until the finale, folks, we will see you next time. Bye.